What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I got an update on my truck for you guys. I have my truck back actually. So in the last video I showed you guys I had to check engine light, and I went down this whole rant about you can't have a warranty voided. When you bought your truck brand new, the warranty is something that you purchase and it can't be voided out even by the manufacturer. So we're going to talk about that today because obviously my dealer says otherwise. You heard that correctly. My local dealer said they can technically void your warranty. Now, obviously, that can mean a lot of different things, and we've already discussed that. So, in the last video, we pulled the code off of my RTD, and we found that the active grille shutters had failed, okay? They were defective. Now, this is not something that's rare. This is actually a known issue. I actually pulled that code online and I found a forum post that showed other people having the same issue. So it could be a pinched wire, it could be a shortage in the wire, like because the wire will corrode because water gets in there and then boom, it takes out the grille shutters. So sometimes they just have to replace the wiring. But Brian, he's been on my channel a few times, he's a master tech over at the dealer. He basically replaced my entire active grille shutters because he said it was defective. So I got the whole thing here replaced, this whole thing. And of course the wire harness, all that stuff got replaced along with it. And here's the question. Did I have to pay out of pocket for it? Because I actually was able to pull the repair order. This would have cost me out of pocket 570 something bucks if I had to have him do this and pay out of pocket. Or maybe that price was for warranty is what it cost him. It could have probably been double that because, you know, warranty pay versus customer pay is a lot higher. But yes, the good news is my warranty did cover this. But we gotta start having a conversation about this, guys. The manufacturer cannot void your warranty. The dealership cannot void your warranty. Now, the manufacturer can decline a warranty claim because, again, how in the world does my tune affect active grille shutters? They would have to prove that my upgrades on my truck took out this active grille shutter. But the thing is, when it comes down to your active grille shutters, if it's considered something that can fail already, how is that something that they can decline based off of my upgrades? That is the problem I have, and that's what I try to tell people at the dealership, because a couple people are like, man, like I can't believe they're gonna fix that under warranty. I'm like, well, why wouldn't they? And they were like, well, because your truck is tuned and obviously you have all that other stuff done to it. But in my mind, I'm like, well, hold on here. What does that have to do with my active grille shutters? He said, well, no, it doesn't matter. Your warranty is just voided. It's not there anymore. That is not correct, guys. There are laws that protect consumers for those types of conversations. Now, most of you guys know that the Duramax diesel is known for oil cooler failures. And you can pretty much see that show up here in this coolant tank. It'll pretty much fill it with oil and then it'll spill out all over your liner down below here, and that's how you know you have the problem. Now you guys see I don't have that issue here, so for me I'm good to go as of right now. So if I were to have that failure in the future, however, I'd be an idiot not to take my truck in for service to see if they will cover that, simply because it's a known issue. This active grille shutter issue has nothing to do with the powertrain. So how can they void the warranty? Let's talk about the 10L1000 transmission. Because of all my upgrades, I have more horsepower coming out of this truck, more torque. It's very possible if I were to have a failure in my transmission, maybe I take out 6th gear, 7th gear, whatever, downshifting. It's very possible they can deny that claim. Right? That's the word I like to hear. Deny. It's very possible because they can probably prove the extra power added strain which took out 6th gear. However, if my torque converter were to go out, or even the valve body, I'm going to try to get that fixed under warranty. Why? Because it's a known issue with the drivetrain of this truck. So let me just back up for a second here. You have the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. That is what protects us as consumers. Remember this, GMC does not have to give you a warranty, but if they do, they have to follow the laws and regulations of that warranty. That's just how it works. And I know that some people will try to get into the weeds about what I've done to my trucks. Well, you're not following the laws. Whatever you might say, you can say what you want to say. There's a difference between following laws and trying to control people. And so if you want to go down that road with me, I'll do another video just for you. If you want to comment in the comment section, we can have a good fun day. But we won't go there right now. But as far as your warranty goes, they cannot void your warranty. Let me say it one more time. They cannot void your warranty. So remember this right here. If you are doing these types of upgrades to your truck and you do have an issue where you think and believe that it should not be denied, like if I have an engine transmission failure, I've already done the research, guys. I've already done the research. See, I take calculated risk. I already know what this engine is going to cost me if I have to replace it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Before I decided to do weight loss program, some of the research I did was, if I did have a engine failure, how much would a block cost if I needed to replace that? You guys see right here, the block is $4,774.06. There's also a $6,000 core charge. So you're gonna get charged this plus this. And then once you send in your engine, then they'll pretty much ship you back, or they'll refund you, I should say, not ship you back. They'll refund you the $6,000 basically. And if you go through, it'll show you the specs. It pretty much will let you know what you're gonna get. Shows you some of the materials of the engine, shows you the weight. So this is not a full diesel engine, so you're gonna have to get other components most likely, but I'm okay with that. I at least have a starting point to know how much it's gonna cost me if I needed to replace the block of my engine, the obviously the heads of my engine. And then same thing goes for the transmission. If you need to replace your transmission, you just go down here to transmission. It's right here, and assembly. So the assembly for this, there's two here. I believe this is the one for the non-PTO truck. So if you click here, $3,050, $6,000 core charge still. So it's a little bit cheaper than even what the engine is. And boom, if you need to replace the assembly of your transmission, there you have it. Now, it may not get to that point. You might just have to replace components, obviously. So you might need to replace just the valve body or the torque converter or some of the clutches. And those things can be significantly cheaper. So again, you got to pay to play. If you're someone that's not willing to take these risks, then I understand that. I understand that this is expensive and it is putting yourself out there, because if the dealership and the manufacturer are able to decline your warranty, then you're going to have to find a way to get your truck back on the road without having to come out of pocket significantly. This is just a control body and valve. I guess, is this the valve body? Yeah, there it is. So yeah, the valve body is $1,113 plus a core charge. However, if you're having issues with that, or even the torque converter, you're just going to go aftermarket with these types of upgrades. I would never come here for the valve body, but if I needed a transmission, I would. And then I guess even still, if I had an issue with my transmission, I probably would still go to the aftermarket world. But for the engine side of things, I would probably come here if I needed to rebuild my engine. I was supposed to get some footage of Brian doing the diagnostics and pulling the active grill shutter and showing you guys the issue, but I was filming something, and as I got done, he was pretty much wrapping up with my truck, so I didn't have a chance to show you guys. But I want you guys to see some footage really quickly of him kind of explaining what happened here. I walk away for like 3 seconds, and this dude has already finished my truck. I literally blink, and like, yeah. He's like, done. I'm like, oh man. So I didn't get anything on footage, but what was wrong with the truck, man?
So it just needed had a code. It's a pretty common issue. It loses communication with the upper grill shutter, which pretty much all that does is it just limits airflow during like warm up.
Okay.
Times, I guess.
Yeah, it just closes that way air doesn't flow. Okay, I see.
Yeah, it helps build engine heat so that all of your tolerances get to where they should be.
I see. Well, normally it's either a pinch wire
Yeah.
either a corroded plug,
Mm-hmm.
but this one it needed to be completely replaced.
Yep.
Yeah, I see.
Yep. So it just got. Yep. Sometimes when you take them out, like I said, there's a little junction that goes from like the lower shutter up to the upper shutter.
Yeah.
And sometimes there will be a little corroded wire there.
I see. But that wasn't the issue. You just replaced the whole. Gotcha.
The whole upper shutter.
Dude, well, I appreciate it, man. Like, I mean, I was gonna get some footage, but again, I blinked, guys, and he was done. So I'm like, wow, I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
And you gonna be starting the channel soon?
Sure.
Maybe. All right. Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah.
Cool. One thing I should mention too is I don't mind getting my hands dirty. This active grill shutter couldn't have happened at a better time. I was literally about to pull the bumper when that check engine light came on. And I was so happy that I didn't, because I was like, you know what, let me see if they'll fix this on a warranty. And I took it in. Obviously, you guys see, got taken care of for me. But if they did decline my warranty for this part, for whatever reason, this is probably not much more than 300 bucks. And because I was pulling the grill and the bumper off anyways, this would have been pretty easy to do. So you cannot be afraid to get your hands dirty if you have these types of upgrades. The bank's catalog should keep you pretty safe, I would say. And one thing I have done more so of because of these upgrades is I do check my oil level, my coolant level a lot more so than I did in the past. I obviously always try to keep my engine as warm as possible, so I'll plug it in an hour before I leave. That way I can keep that block as warm as possible and help that oil to flow a lot quicker. That way that oil pressure can come down. So you have to look at this as these trucks are not as good as they used to be, but they're not as bad either, because you have to just know your equipment and you have to do oil analysis. You have to make sure that your engine oil is healthy. And so that's why I start doing that. You guys know I have the oil bypass from Insane Diesel. I also have the PPE larger oil filter. So my filtration is definitely a lot better. And I'm probably catching a lot more stuff out of the oil to keep it more healthier as well. So I hope this video was helpful. Yes, your dealership can try to scare you into thinking that they can void your warranty, but they can't. You have laws and regulations that protect you as a consumer. So just get acquainted with the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. I've already mentioned this before I did any of these upgrades. I already had this conversation with you guys. I literally talked about this before I even did any upgrades because I did the research myself too. Know your rights. The reason why they have laws and regulations is to protect us as consumers. So protect yourself. Last thing I'll do is, as I titled this video, they can void your warranty. So let me just explain what I mean by that. I searched the word void in the warranty booklet, and I'm just going to skip to the last page. So right here, it says here, General Motors will void the warranty coverage for those components that are damaged or otherwise affected by the installation of the non-GM part. Right here. So yes, if you do have an issue with your engine transmission, it's very possible they can void the coverage. I like the word deny the coverage because they can't just void the warranty indefinitely. It's only on affected components. So that answers the question. They cannot void your warranty. Now, a dealership can refuse to work on your truck. However, it's very few and far in between that will happen, and you can definitely find a dealership out there that's willing to work on your truck if you have a lot of modifications done to it.